Welcome back to KNV TV. I am V,
I'm Kay.
and today we are going to be talking about somebody who can't keep their mouth to themselves.
Ew.
Shelby Grace is an American YouTuber from Jersey. She is not the one biting people.
No.
She began her YouTube career in 2007, posting gaming videos. She has also mentioned in passing that she's gone to an acting school, and at one point she was so intelligent she took college-level courses while still in high school. Talking about something more serious. On February 21st of this year, 2024, Shelby would start a now deleted stream titled Talking About Something More Serious. In this stream, Shelby would detail abuse she suffered at the hands or mouth of an unnamed ex-boyfriend. Shelby begins the stream by saying she wants to share her experience in order to share what she has learned and help others avoid her mistakes. She does say that not all of her exes treated her poorly, but speaking out about this experience is so important to her because staying silent wasn't keeping her peace. It was keeping someone else's.
And it probably ultimately putting her in more danger in the long run.
Or others.
Yeah.
Shelby then says she never thought she would be the type of person to end up in a situation like she did, and she hopes that if someone is watching, they can better recognize the signs and avoid or escape it. She says this relationship was dangerous and there were many things wrong in it and she had to endure. Shelby makes it very clear that she has a specific issue that she wants to address, and if she mentions other issues, she doesn't want it to take away from the overall conversation. Shelby talks about how she has been going to therapy and how angry she felt with herself. Shelby talks about how she processed what happened to her and steps she took to come to terms with it. Excuse me. She addresses how she lied to people around her in order to not damage his reputation and misconceptions she had about physical abuse and what constitutes as DV. Shelby says her ex would bite her. She says it started as affectionate. Even his mother told her at one point that he had done this since he was a child.
And she never did anything about it?
Nope. She kind of like tried to normalize it to Shelby.
Dude, that's almost as gross as what he did, dude.
Right? Shelby says her ex wanted to ensure that this was okay behavior because he didn't want her to come back later and say that he abused her.
I'm sorry, but if she was uncomfortable with it and she said she was uncomfortable with it and you did it anyway, that is abuse.
Well, we'll get to that path, but she didn't find that concerning quite yet because he hadn't hurt her. So she thought, just precautionary, like weird to say.
So even if no one had hurt me, but they like said that to me, I would be so uncomfortable.
I don't know. My ex made comments like that all the time. And like it just kind of went over my head. That he didn't want me going around telling people that I was being abused.
Yeah, I guess it's different when you're in it too.
But then he did hurt her. Shelby says she didn't actually remember the first time he bit her too hard. And I don't blame her because, again, sometimes that just goes over your head. You don't recognize it. It's inconsequential.
Right.
But it started to happen more and more often. And so they made a safe word. Shelby admits in retrospect this seems like a red flag. She details how her ex would even display the behavior to his friends as if it were just this quirky, unique thing to bite your girlfriend till she was screaming a safe word.
What the hell?
Or crying out in pain, as Shelby put it.
You never learned where your limit was? Like,
I suppose not. Shelby doesn't name these friends in particular, but she says that she thinks everyone was uncomfortable. Like, everyone was kind of like, oh, that's okay. She also says that nobody should blame themselves or her friends because she was lying for him and telling people that it was okay.
Right. Well, and I'm sure even, like, the stuff that they were talking about probably wasn't nearly, like, what was actually happening behind closed doors, like most TV cases.
I think she meant that he would bite her.
Oh my gosh, in public?
I don't know if it was in public necessarily,
but in front of their friends and family.
Again, I don't know.
Either way, though, that's super uncomfortable and, like, not appropriate.
If my friend bit his girlfriend in front of me, I would probably smack him in the mouth.
No, for real. Unless it was, like, they're in the corner having a cute little, like, one quick kiss, you know what I mean? And he like bites her lip without anyone fucking noticing. But like
This
that's
was not
totally
biting
different.
her lip,
No,
though.
that's what I mean. Like if
Right.
I could, yeah.
Shelby says she confronted him and asked him to stop biting her. He said he would try. But instead of trying, he would blame shift and tell her that she was being overdramatic and her pain tolerance was too low. She details how it got to the point her arms were covered in bruises, how he would poke them and joke about how it looked like she was being abused. Shelby says that when it started to look really bad, he started biting her legs instead. When she asked him again to stop biting her, he told her this was who he was and he wasn't going to change himself for her, which I think is crazy. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, you shouldn't change like entirely who you are, but like you should be willing to make adjustments for your partner,
or at least compromises,
right?
And or your partner isn't really someone that you care for and respect.
Because I think the safe word was like a step, not in this situation, but like I could see that as like compromising,
right?
But not good behavior. Maybe just stop the bad behavior.
No, and I'm sorry, but if your partner is saying your safe word every single time,
so
that's not very safe.
The way Shelby describes it is that he would bite down, and it was kind of like, we'll get to it actually. I think that comes up later. She talks about how she remembers specific things he would say, but he would try to gaslight her and say he never said that. And she was remembering wrong. Oh my god. Shelby talks about how she remembered specific things he would say, but he would try to gaslight her and say he never said those specific things and she was remembering it wrong. And this is a big part of abuse because you will remember. Those words will stick in your head for life.
Forever, even years after the situation's over.
But they'll try to tell you it never happened. Of course.
No, and sometimes they'll even tell you years after you're separated that it never happened.
No, for real. Even if you have like evidence that that event or that conversation happened.
Even if you show it to them, like prove it to them, dude, they bite down harder.
Figuratively. Sorry, Shelby. She says in the last few months of the relationship, he would almost exclusively bite her until she was yelling out the safe word. And then he would even clamp down harder before letting go. Sometimes even grinding his teeth on her and then smiling at her. He abused the safe word, as Shelby put it. And I cannot think of a better way to phrase that.
Seriously.
She talks about how she would get so anxious that she would have to go throw up in secret before rejoining their friend group.
Oh my gosh.
Even when they were out in public. Shelby also details her ex's love bombing and how she found herself in the relationship to begin with.
Right.
She also discusses how things changed when the relationship began to decline. She says that he continued to say he did not want to break up, despite about to leave for an extended period of time, which we'll discuss later. So she made suggestions on how they could stay together, and he shot them all down. She says that he was almost flaunting, not prioritizing her, and how she would watch him give what she wanted and needed in the relationship to the people around them, but refused to do the same for her. And I don't know what exactly she's talking about, but I don't think that's our business necessarily.
Right. Especially if she didn't want to share in the first place.
Right. She says he told her that he would not prioritize her over fame or money, and he wanted to see how much of each he could get.
Jeez.
Shelby says that the last push she needed was hearing him say out loud that he had grown to resent her and the relationship was starting to feel like a responsibility. Yeah. And there was like no reason to resent Shelby because what did she do?
First of all. Second of all, the relationship is a responsibility.
It absolutely is. It's a huge responsibility.
And I'm sorry, but if you weren't ready for that quote unquote responsibility, you shouldn't have gotten in a relationship.
And I haven't mentioned it because I didn't think it was important quite yet, but this was a long distance relationship. Yeah. America to England.
So how are they seeing each other all the time? Is that does she talk about that?
She does.
Okay. And then I'll wait.
She says that although she didn't want to, she broke up with him, and they agreed to stay friends, although after she got all of her things back, he would never speak to her again.
Oh my god.
She believes he was bottling up his emotions and then taking them out on her in the form of biting. She also believes that he knew that he was hurting her and didn't care and possibly even liked that he was hurting her.
Ooh.
Shelby even discusses a time where he pinned her down and told her to fight back as hard as she could. When she couldn't get him off of her, he said that he was so much stronger than her that she couldn't fight him back.
He didn't ask her to do that. He just did it.
I don't know if he asked to pin her down, but he did ask for her to fight back. And then when she couldn't, he was like, "You can't fight me."
Either way, what he said is really creepy, but
it's even creepier if he asked to pin her down. Like, if
I
it was
don't
like
know,
play
dude.
wrestling at first and then it just got weird.
No, I'm thinking more of like if it was a kink thing. Like if they talked about both being into that and then he said some weird stuff while he did it to her that they didn't initially talk about. You know what I mean?
The tone doesn't make it sound sexual. Like when Shelby talks about it, it doesn't sound like it was
right.
Fun time. Shelby also talks about how gross he was. Like, just nasty. He had terrible hygiene. He lived in filth and never cleaned. There were ants everywhere. And according to him, it's because bugs are normal in a British house.
What?
Take that, England. We don't have that problem.
What?
He didn't clean his house for months, and there was obvious mold growing in the bathroom. She used her own, by the way.
Yeah, dude, I would too.
He never used detergent when they got together or soap of any kind to wash his clothes.
Oh, gross.
And she says that after she found out, like after the breakup, she found out that he would tell his friends that he didn't clean because she would do it when she got there.
What the fuck?
She thought he just needed to learn how to clean and bathe himself.
You know what? I feel like that's all right to a certain extent, but like your whole motherfucking house and self, like that's too much for a grown up.
And
like,
I've seen pictures
learn it
of
on
this
your
house.
own, bro. Your girlfriend should not be teaching you how to wash your ass. Your girlfriend should not be teaching you how to mop the floor or do the fucking dishes. Okay?
That was your
if your
mom and
girlfriend is
dad's
teaching
job.
you how to do deep cleaning or like organizing or like specific tasks
No, for
and
real.
cleaning,
If you got a
sure.
cleaning girl,
yeah, go for it. Let her. Or even if you just don't know certain things because your parents preferred to do it themselves
No,
or
for
because
real.
somebody else did it.
Like if you think you can mix bleach with any other cleaning product.
No, literally, or just
Please
mixing
don't do
chemicals
that.
in general if you want to do that and you don't know. Like,
which you probably shouldn't. If
Right.
you don't know what chemicals to mix, do
don't
not mix cleaning chemicals. Don't mix
Anyways.
bleach with anything.
Anyways. Certain cleaning stuff, sure.
Read your labels first. Google is free.
Just learn this on your own, guys. Your girlfriend doesn't need to teach you.
Facts. She also said she was buying all of their hygiene and cleaning products.
Hell no.
As well as food, travel fees,
Holy
cat sitters.
That's a lot of money. And rent for her own place too?
Aside from 2 occasions. On 2 occasions he paid for the flights, I believe.
Just the flights.
Just the flights, as far as I'm aware. Mm-hmm. She says she doesn't think she should have paid for any of the food, and she isn't sure if this constitutes as financial abuse, and I'm not the one to say if it does, but it does sound sus.
It seems very, like...
on the line.
Right. At minimal, like, emotional, like...
definitely emotional.
Abuse, right? Like, especially if, like, I don't know. It just seems weird. It's not... I can't say what it would or wouldn't be, but it is not right.
At one point, she was even willing to move to England to cut costs. She was willing to move in with this man.
Let me guess, he didn't want her to.
Nope. Shelby says she thinks he is dangerous, and sharing her story was important so others could see the signs and maybe be safer.
Right.
She says she thought she would be smart enough to leave a relationship once they put their hands on her, but how it all happened so slowly over time, she didn't even process what was being done to her, right. And how she would tell herself it wasn't violent enough.
DV can feel so slow but so fast at the same time. It's like one day you wake up and you're so happy, and the next day you wake up and it's the worst time of your entire life.
And it goes back and forth.
No, and that's why it's so hard to determine if you need to stay or leave, and they do it on purpose.
And
to keep you confused and keep you stuck.
At that point in her video, I broke down. Like, I had to take a step away because I was full blown crying. I hate hearing victims of DV talk about how they didn't think it was
Was it
violent
violent?
enough.
Oh.
It breaks
And
my
so many
heart.
people talk about it like that too.
They do, and so
If
many
you're being
people
hurt emotionally, physically, financially, and it's
leave.
abuse, it's hurt enough to leave.
Like, it
And it
doesn't
doesn't
have to be
matter.
violent.
Yeah, literally.
They don't have to be swinging on you.
No, and even if it is violent and they're not leaving marks, that's still not okay. It doesn't matter in what circumstance you think it's not violent enough, quote unquote. It is.
Yeah.
If you're thinking that it's not violent enough, it is.
And if you think that domestic violence is what Catherine McBroom describes domestic violence as, you're insane.
Mm,
Your partner coming in and just swinging on you for no reason
yeah.
is domestic violence, but that is not the only form
of domestic violence.
Shelby wraps up her stream by saying she feels her soul is so healed and she felt that this was the last thing she needed to do to move forward. She does
Good.
say she would want to anonymously discuss other things he had done.
Right. Like if people came forward.
But otherwise, she wouldn't be speaking about him again. And if people don't want others to talk about the shitty things they do, then they shouldn't do shitty things.
And if they want people to stop talking about the shitty things they did in the past, they should start doing things to, correct behaviors that are shitty, that hurt people.
Make amends. She ends her stream by saying she feels like the strongest person in the world and she felt impenetrable that day.
Good. I'm so glad.
That made me so happy.
She deserves that.
The netizens immediately began investigating. And I'm not sure on the entire process. If you saw how this went down and you can show me, absolutely send it in. Comment down below.
Let us know.
But they ended up finding out that it was a man known as William Gold, or what's his whole name? William Patrick Spencer Gold. We will be referring to him as William. He prefers Wilbur, but we don't care what William prefers.
No, fuck you. Allegedly.
William began his YouTube career around 2008, a year after Shelby. He made his current channel called Wilbur Soot, where he posted more Minecraft videos in 2019, and co-founded the band Lovejoy in 2021. Okay. I will not let go of the fact that they are indirectly involved. I won't let go of it.
No. And they need to at least acknowledge it.
They did. In the worst way possible.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that at the end. I literally, my blood was boiling this whole script. But that part
boiled over.
That's why it was the end, because if I did any more looking into this, I would explode. On the 27th of February, William would post a response to Twitter. Netizens would point out how the response felt like a PR stunt. Mm-hmm. You know, just to save his image.
Yay.
Here is his response in its entirety. In the past week, a series of allegations have been made over my conduct from an ex-girlfriend. I want to emphasize that although I feel it fair to offer my perspective, this person's feelings are completely valid. I have taken my time sharing this statement as I wanted to process and respond respectfully with the hope to gain a deeper understanding for the situation. During our relationship's final months, I regrettably became slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish. These actions caused a lot of pain to my ex-girlfriend, and I've since sought therapy to address these behaviors, making significant lifestyle changes to rectify my past actions. They dated in 2023.
I'm sorry, not long enough, first of all. Second of all, slobbish. Why was that your first word? That is not even nearly like the most important part of anything that she's calling you out for, my guy. So why? Why do you feel the need to mention that first?
I have come to realize how much my past behavior hurt this person, but I truly, compassionately believe I have made great strides from the person I once was and hope I can continue to grow and improve on this trajectory.
Right.
The allegations of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood from our numerous conversations and text text message exchanges, say that 3 times fast, on the subject, that this behavior was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed.
What?
I truly believe those personal message exchanges reflect mutual affection and understanding. Out of respect for her, I choose not to publish them, and I emphasize
okay.
my perspective is not shared to diminish or invalidate anyone's feelings.
So where's the proof then?
Instead, I share it in the hope that I can offer a genuine, fair, and relevant insight
Get
into
fucked,
my
bro.
understanding of the
Wow.
situation.
Get plucked.
While I may perceive our interaction differently, I recognize this person has processed and expressed feelings of hurt. I want to extend my sincerest apologies for any pain I caused. I'm fully committed to understanding and addressing her concerns going forward. I hope my perspective shed light on the situation without detraction, without detracting from its message. I am dedicated to earning and maintaining the trust of those around me and hope I continue to be held to these high standards I wish to attain and maintain. Will.
First of all, you will be held to those standards. Second of all, you're not meeting them.
Third of all, those aren't high standards.
No.
Don't bite your girlfriend.
That's the basic, especially if she doesn't like it or tells you that it's too much.
Also, the whole part about him processing what's gone down. Sir, you were there. You were there. What do you mean you took your time to process the situation? You were the situation.
Literally, it's not your processing situation.
And so the message exchanges do get brought up later, but because people weaponized them against Shelby, people misconstrued it and said, well, show us the text messages. First of all, she don't have to.
No, literally.
Get bent. She does not have to.
And if he's the one bringing up text messages being in his favor, he needs to be the one to bring them forward.
And you know what I think? I think it was all deflection. I don't think those 100%. Text message exchanges exist.
No, and if they do, they definitely incriminate him.
And netizens had mixed responses. And I hate that. I hate that so much. Some people would talk about how he didn't take any accountability.
Literally.
I mean, he couldn't even say her name. Others would say that everyone else was just jumping on the Shubble support squad. Some people made some really nasty comments, but I'm not going to get into those.
Right.
Shelby responded. She answered a lot of questions and misinformation about her experience, but I don't think she should have. I don't think she should have needed to.
Right.
If she chose to, that's her business. Having said that, I will be covering her response briefly because I think everyone should just go watch her video.
No, seriously.
Shelby says that netizens are not entitled to everything everyone knows or every single person's response.
Exactly. Or anybody's perspective.
Yeah, I often feel like if something is brought to the internet, netizens feel entitled to the whole story. And that's just not how it works.
No, in any case.
People can share as much or little as they want.
Whether they're YouTube famous or not.
Exactly. Shelby does say that she didn't know this had been an issue beforehand and it was not coordinated, but other victims and Shelby's friends have all come together in solidarity and ask that we support and listen to them because other victims did come forward. Shelby says that slobberishness was not the worst thing that she endured. And that the apology was not genuine. No, and if it had been, he would have said her name.
At very minimum.
At the bare minimum.
That is literally doing the least.
She also says she is sorry she couldn't protect everyone as more people were hurt after her. Which is not her burden to bear.
No.
She wraps up by saying
never will it be.
No, ever. It is not the victim's fault to stop the abuse.
No.
Her videos just break my heart, but she is so strong and so powerful. Honestly, I hope that someday I can be at the level in my healing journey that she is.
I agree. And same.
She wraps up by saying she has to put her mental health first, and sorry if that disappoints you.
Eat it if it does.
Get bent.
Touch grass.
Yeah, go touch some grass.
And then
Lovejoy responded.
Oh, God.
So Shelby is still posting on her YouTube channel, and I believe she has still been streaming, which I love to see. William has not been, as far as I can tell. And good. Well, the band Lovejoy was scheduled to play at Coachella this year, which has passed now, and they didn't play. They also canceled their concert for April 15th in California.
Ooh.
Citing William's mental health as their reason. He's just really going through it, I guess.
Just in such a hard time currently.
They informed everyone through email, stating that they had been working really hard all year and were just taking a much-needed break. In regards to if William would be kicked out of the band, they said, "We hope to keep you updated on this in the coming months and look forward to bringing you more positive announcements in the future."
Oh, jeez.
Which makes me believe that they're waiting for this to blow over.
No.
I will not let this blow over.
For real.
So what are your final thoughts?
I think this man needs to take some accountability, first of all, and actually directly address his victim or victims. He knows who they are. I know he knows who they are. They always do. They always do.
I also think Lovejoy needs to kick him out.
Yeah, no, and also I think they need to release a statement like
explaining why they kicked him out,
yeah,
and what he did wrong,
right, and why they don't affiliate with that.
Yeah, basically, allegedly, they're condoning domestic violence.
100%,
in my opinion.
Yeah, genuinely.
And I don't mess with people who support or condone those actions.
Yeah, no, against anyone, from anyone.
Well, what do you guys make of all of this? Let us know down below, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.